Hello. In the previous video, I showed off the new F-16 Fighting Falcon, or Viper, that I built. And well, since then, I've been messing around with hardpoints. As you can see on the screen here, we've got 3 drop tanks, one quite close to the ground, and missiles on the wings. And the missiles actually sort of work. They'll fire off, but they're definitely more like dummy missiles because the way they're built, they definitely don't fly straight. They fly more like paintballs. And this time I'll try to get this up on kspbuilds.com. I'm not sure if it's just a craft file that is copy paste or if I can actually send the entire workspace. I'd prefer the workspace because of reasons I'll explain later. But in case I do have this up somewhere, I'll take off with a little tutorial of how to operate everything, because we use all the action groups, all 10 of them, and some other fun things on how to fly this. First of all, throttle down, hit the abort action group to start the engine, because there ain't no aborts, let's be honest. What we're gonna do is throttle up a little bit, hit all of our control surfaces, you know, classic Air Force things. We're gonna hit that afterburner, throttle up, tap B, and send it. I'm gonna hold Alt and then tap S like 5 or 6 times, maybe a little bit more. That's gonna trim our elevator slightly upwards. Now, my frame rate is about half, I think, of what it was without all of the hard points because of all the wing parts that are probably being calculated and all these trails. So frame rate is a little bit less. Now, if you caps lock, it'll send you into precise control, and I can use that to pitch up a little bit and do a little bit of roll so it's nice and smooth. We're in the sky now, so I'll tap G, hit that gear, and we are now flying. We are good to go. I'm gonna meet you guys above the clouds. All right, now that we're up here and we have a great view of the moon, just a sliver in the sky here, we're gonna tap 1. That action group sets our afterburner to off or on. And we barely used any fuel. In fact, let's take a look at the resource manager to find out. Yeah, so in methane, we have all of our drop tanks. In methalox, we have the fuel in the body, and apparently, that's not working correctly. I wonder if it didn't save something I did. There's a way to make fuel crossfeed work, and it's with a fuel line, and I have a feeling the fuel lines have disappeared, so I'll have to fix that in the editor. But what's supposed to happen is the methalox tanks are supposed to not use any of the fuel before the methane tanks do. A bit awkward that that's not working correctly. It was working the other day, but that's all right. I want to show you guys the action groups to decouple these tanks. You hit 3 to take off the center tank, and then you double tap 4 to take off the wing tanks. And there we go, we're a lot lighter now. Now we just have our ordnance. And firing the missiles is a bit tricky, right? So you have to sort of fire volleys of 2. So we're gonna go ahead and fire the wingtip missiles. The way this works is action group 0 will light both of the wingtip missiles, and then action group 9 will decouple 1, action group 9 will decouple another one. So 0 and 9 are the wingtips. 8 and 7 are the center missiles. 6 and 5 are the inline missiles. Let me show you how this works. Action group 0, light the missiles. Action group 9, fire. Action group 9, fire. And then the missiles go crazy and they kind of flip around. It works a little bit better if I'm at lower speed. Hold on, let's kill our throttle a little bit and bank to the left. Let's get ourselves a little bit lower speed here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit action group 8 to fire, or to arm the middle missiles. And then double tap action group 7 to fire them both. All right. So let's get some cinematic shot here for this one. F2. So we got 8, 7, 7. Missiles away. That's so much fun. Yeah. So the missiles will actually fire. They don't actually go anywhere. They're dummy missiles. They're like training missiles, really. No warheads or anything. They're just made with wings. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Let's get one with the sun and the moon here in the background. All right. Get our camera something like this. We'll hit 655. Haha. That's just fun. Now, as we fly back to the KSC, there's another thing that I wanted to show you guys concerning the boat dock that we got. You know, last video I showed there's a whole bunch of new obstacles that you can fly under and through. And there's another one that's a bit more dangerous than the rest. And I'm gonna try to fly through it. And we'll see what happens. So here we are back at the KSC, and now we're approaching the new thing to fly through or fly around. You see the warehouses off to the right of the aircraft here. You see those red poles? Yeah, that's what we're gonna try to fly through. We're gonna try to fly sideways through those over there. And let's just give it a go. I'm not gonna quick save or anything because we do things for real around here. Let's give it a whirl. So we're gonna line up slightly to the left at a slight angle because there's some light posts that we have to avoid as well. And we want to stay nice and low. We also want to be at a slight uphill trajectory as well. Trim this out. Okay, trim is good. I don't think that this trajectory is good though, because there's a light post. I'll bail if we're heading right towards it. No, I think we're good. Oh, we lost a wing! No! Oh boy. I had a bad feeling about that attempt, I'll be honest. All right, we're sending out a new aircraft. This time we're gonna nail that. We're gonna nail that run. It'll be really, really cool if we had decals that we could add onto the aircraft, like conformal decals type thing, because there's so many little details and markings that I would love to put on these aircraft. It would really bring them to life, I think. But the paint tool alone, absolute wonders. I love using it. This is the aircraft, by the way, in the last video that we were flying in tandem with. And the way I did that was I spawned them both on the runway and then hit the engines, swapped over to the other aircraft, hit the engines, swapped over, set the trim in our trajectory, swapped over, set trim in our trajectory, and kept swapping back and forth until I got this aircraft to basically fly super level on its own. And then I just flew the other one and tried to stay close to it. It's something that I did in KSP 2 as well. Or sorry, not 2, we're playing 2 right now. KSP 1 as well. And it was quite fun. I mentioned the color tool earlier. Wish list, because, you know, it's Christmas after all. KSP 2 wish list, copy paste color tool, please. That would be so nice. It'd be so nice if I could like save colors to a palette to continue using other places. Because if I wanted to get this blue or yellow again, I'd kind of just have to trial and error type dealio. All right, we're gonna try to line up for this one. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad. I know you can make it through this because late last night, believe it or not, I made it through it, and I have a clip of it. Woo! Oh man, I had to not talk there because, oh, I'm nervous. I was really nervous that run. We got so close to hitting so many things there. But yeah, that proves that you can do it. There's another thing that we can fly under. That's equally as dangerous, honestly, is underneath this dish. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm so nervous. Underneath this dish, we can make it. We can make it. We're lined up good. Lined up good. And you kind of just do this. Yeah, there we go. There's some more acrobatics for you guys. Okay, let's land the thing. And then I want to go into the editor and show you, I don't know if it just didn't save my fuel crossfeed thing that I worked on. It's possible it's just not working. But I'll inspect that and show you guys in a little bit. I can show you how the missiles were made and stuff too. It's a bit ridiculous. But yeah. Put this down with some with haste, post haste. Now on the actual hardpoint vehicle, we have an action group for flaps as well, which is just on the ailerons. For the other ones, I haven't set that up quite yet, but that's pretty easy too. The suspension is being a little bit loosey-goosey for us here. That was a bit of a jank landing, but hey, we're down and nothing is broken. We're back in the edit here. I shoved the camera into one of the fuel tanks, and this is essentially how it works. We have a fuel tank. Well, okay, thank you, camera. That was exactly what I didn't want to happen. Clipped into the decoupler slightly that's attached to it. And inside of the actual fuel tank, you attach a fuel thing from the tank to the decoupler. And the decoupler is, of course, going to be set to fuel crossfeed. So this is the fuel tank and missile here. The fuel tank consists of a few of these small fuel tanks here, as well as, apparently that messed this up, as well as a nose cone, and this is just a fairing to make it a little bit larger than it looked. And this is a mess, but this is the missiles. We don't have any parts small enough to actually make like a small tube out of, apart from maybe stringing a bunch of Communitron 16s together, but that seemed more painful than what I did here, and what I did here is rather painful as well. These are, let's see, what are these called? These are changeling fins. These ones right here, the adjustable fins. So basically the 0 wingspan, and the length is like 16 for the root and the tip here. These are also more wings, and this has a more of an interesting shape. Let me just alt click this. Having 6 of these strung together makes it look like sort of a nose cone, even though it kind of looks like a screwdriver. It looks the part. It doesn't really operate the part very well, but it does look the part. Now, like I said, I don't know how this craft file is going to be distributed, if it's going to be the actual workspace or if it's going to be a copy paste type dealio. But there's some things that you should know that are kind of glitchy about KSP at the moment. And in the future, these might be fixed. So depending on when you're watching this, this could be relevant. This could be not relevant. But let's say I select this vessel, right? And we just hit Control C, put that back. And then I'm gonna hit Control V up here. There's one part of this vessel that is always messed up when that happens, and that's the belly. These are structural tubes, and you'll notice there's gaps there now. Those gaps aren't supposed to be there. However, it is super, super easy to fix this. First of all, you just click at it and place it back, and that gap fixed itself. You click, place it back, that gap fixed itself. You click here, you place it back, the gaps fix themselves. Now all you have to do is make sure to hit F to make sure this is at a slight angle. It's not following the global, it'll follow local translation. You move all 3 of these to fix the remainder of the gap here. Now this last one, you'll move until you see the tip of those radial, this radial intake match the silver line there, and then that's fixed. That's something that you'll have to do if this is a copy paste. I don't know if it is, like I said. The other thing is something that when you load in the vessels, oh, also the wings are transparent right now, but that's fine. When you reload the workspace, they'll be normal again. When you load the vessel, the lights on the wings and the tail here, they just kind of won't work until you quick save, quick load. That doesn't take much time, but in case you really want those lights to actually be working, you'll have to load the vessel onto the runway and then quick save, quick load. Otherwise, they just simply won't work. But now that I replaced the fuel lines for our external tanks here, let me quick save this under the Fighting Falcon and I'm gonna send this out into the runway and see if those tanks are working. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's working. That's kind of awkward because that was working last night, I swear to you. So I guess in order to use the external fuel tanks, because KSP2 doesn't have a built-in fuel priority in any of the fuel tanks like KSP1 did, which I really miss. I really like the automatic fuel priority type dealio. You could really have control of how the fuel in the vessel is being drained. And I had a workaround there without any external fuel ducts. It's an internal fuel duct. It was working. I'll tweak around and maybe I can get it working again. But in the meantime, the resource manager, all of the NCS 200s, the RF80, anything with CH4 and oxidizer, methane and oxidizer, that's on the body. That's how you can tell them apart. And you can set those to in, and all of the other fuel tanks are externals, and they will automatically be set to out when you select anything in. So if you want to actually, you know, get fuel out of the tanks into the main body before decoupling, you'll have to do it manually and sort of do this. And it's kind of a pain. I think this glitches out. Yeah, this glitches out. Here's another bug, guys. So there's an infinite amount of fuel tanks inside of the transfer. You can't click the X to get rid of them because it just copy pastes them. And that's definitely not working as intended. Alright, and lastly, I just want to fire off all the missiles rapid fire, so here we go. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much to Chris Gebert, Darth Malachor, Elliot Ewing, Guy Called Odin, Mr. Blue Star, and everyone else on the Patreon for your continued support. Thank you guys so much. This plane is still just so much fun to fly. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.